It wasn't a missile barrage that made the U.S. Navy suddenly rethink its moves. No submarines lurking beneath the waves with torpedoes primed, no fighter jets screaming overhead in a menacing flyover, and certainly no classic fleet confrontation with guns locked and loaded. The reason for their sudden caution was far more subtle, quieter than the sound of engines, and invisible to the naked eye. In fact, it wasn't even something the human ear could detect. In the highly contested waters of the South China Sea, where global power struggles play out daily, a sleek, almost ghost-like vessel appeared on the horizon. No guns raised, no threats broadcast. Yet, its mere presence made U.S. ships change their course. The reason? They were being tracked, precisely, relentlessly, and with chilling accuracy. This wasn't a destroyer, an aircraft carrier, or a missile cruiser. It was something far more unnerving. This was China's Type-815 electronic reconnaissance vessel, a warship that doesn't fight with firepower, but with information. And that's exactly what makes it terrifying. From missiles to metadata, a new era of conflict. The Type-815 isn't just another ship in Beijing's expanding naval lineup. It represents a paradigm shift in warfare. Modern battlefields aren't solely about missiles, bombs, or brute strength anymore. The new front line is invisible, dominated by signals, frequencies, and data. The Type-815 is a living embodiment of this change. It's sleek, smooth-lined, crowned with dome-shaped radars, and built to listen, watch, intercept, and relay information in real time. China, once dismissed as a copycat military power with outdated hardware, is no longer playing catch-up. With vessels like the Type-815, it's taking the lead in electronic warfare at sea. This ship sends a clear message. Wars are no longer won just by who has the most aircraft carriers, but by who controls the information space. Not long ago, the South China Sea told a very different story. U.S. surveillance ships and aircraft operated boldly, circling near Chinese waters, transmitting the unmistakable signal, "We're here. We see everything you're doing." For years, China had little choice but to endure it, its weaker navy unable to push back. But that era of silence is over. Building smarter, not just bigger. China's naval expansion has been one of the fastest in modern history. Aircraft carriers, advanced destroyers, and stealthy submarines rolled off the production lines at staggering speed. Yet hidden within this massive buildup was a quieter but far more strategic creation, the Type-815. Unlike flashy carriers, it doesn't scream power at first glance. But in reality, it's one of the most important weapons in China's naval arsenal. Why? Because in modern naval warfare, the side with better intelligence, who sees first, who listens better, who controls the electromagnetic spectrum, often wins without firing a shot. The Type-815 functions like a floating intelligence command center. Its powerful radomes intercept enemy communications, track radar emissions, and monitor movements of ships and aircraft far beyond the horizon. Inside, dozens of Chinese specialists sit at high-tech consoles, intercepting transmissions, mapping radar signatures, and analyzing patterns in real time. Every piece of information gathered is instantly relayed to shore command or nearby warships, giving China a complete tactical edge. Scout, sniper, and ghost combined. At first glance, the Type-815 doesn't look threatening. Its deck isn't bristling with weapons. But that's precisely the point. It listens, learns, and guides the battlefield silently. It can coordinate with submarines, drones, and even missile forces, feeding them precise targeting data. Imagine U.S. warships realizing their radar sweeps, aircraft launches, and encrypted messages are being quietly recorded, decoded, and transmitted back to Beijing in real time. That's a chilling thought. And it doesn't stop there. The ship isn't entirely defenseless. While primarily an intelligence vessel, it carries light missiles and defensive systems, enough to protect itself if cornered. This makes it both an observer and a combatant, a scout with the sting of a sniper. Even more dangerously, the Type-815 can jam enemy communications, scramble navigation data, and disrupt radar systems. A fleet relying on radios and drones could suddenly find everything going haywire, not because of mechanical failure, but because one silent Chinese vessel rewrote the electromagnetic battlefield. A vessel that changes the rules. Western navies now take the Type-815 very seriously. During multinational naval drills, Its sudden arrival has forced entire exercises to scale down or even cancel. Why? Because nobody wants their tactics, signals, and playbook exposed to China's databases. Its presence alone is enough to create confusion, stress, and hesitation. This is psychological warfare at sea. When commanders know they're being watched, they hesitate. They go radio silent. They alter routes. They second-guess every maneuver. The Type-815 doesn't need to attack. It changes the rules of engagement simply by existing. And that's the real story here. The age of brute force naval dominance is fading. The new standard is who controls the information, who jams first, who blinds the other side before the first missile ever leaves its launcher. For the U.S. Navy, the Type-815 is a reminder that the oceans aren't just physical battlegrounds anymore. They are digital ones. And in that arena, China is no longer the silent observer. It's the one setting the tempo.